But Bradford, they'll have something to say about that. They're playing well in recent weeks, only the St Helens defeat in the last 4 or 5 games for them. And they'll be keen, particularly with the ex-Leeds players in the contingent. I'll run through the teams for you. Bradford Northern, they line up with Simpson, Summers, Hall, Newlove and Christie. Heron and Fox are the half-backs. Roy Powell, Trevor Clark, John Hamer, Paul Dixon, Carl Fairbanks, Paul Medley, Robbie Paul and Eugene Bonville are the substitutes. And for Leeds, well, they've got a lot of changes this week. Alan Tate is at full-back, Jim Fallon, Kevin Iro, Francis Cummins, Paul Cook, Craig Innes and Patrick Hornsett are the halves. Neil Harmon, James Lowes, Jim Latham, Bassini Faimalo, Richie Ayres, Laurie Hanley, and the substitutes Marcus Vasilakopoulos and Matthew Schultz. And they'll be looking for a big game today, Leeds. They've had a disappointing last 7 days. Championship hopes completely disappeared, and they'll need a big game this afternoon from the likes of Patrick Hornsett and Craig Innes to stuff out the threat of the northern half-backs, which is David Heron and Derek Fox. And also they need to close Derek Fox down, because if they don't, then Paul Newlove will see plenty of the ball. And interesting to note that Neil Summers and Carl Haller were both big physical players and on the same wing as the Leeds pair of Francis Cummins and Paul Cook, 2 youngsters and 2 very experienced and big, powerful built players there, hoping to take advantage of any weakness in the Leeds ranks. So Leeds are going to kick off. Alan Tate, the ball's fallen over. It's 5 minutes past 3 again, so again we're having a late kick-off. This seems to be becoming more and more the normal now. So Tate gets the ball off. Derek Fox immediately brings Carl Fairbanks charging back, and a big round of applause there for cheering coming out immediately, although that seems to be coming over the PA system. John Hamer running straight into Neil Harmon. Just outside the northern 20 metres, Trevor Clark moves that ball to the right for Paul Dixon. And Dixon's brought down with a tackle by Hornsett and by Richie Ayres. So Fox again now, looking to bring the big men running, and Roy Powell he finds now. Powell taking play almost up to halfway before he's brought down. Colin Morris checks that Leeds are 10 metres back. And a knock on. So Roy Powell's lost the ball getting up in the tackle. The Bradford crowd incensed, as you would expect at this stage of the game. And Leeds, first chance to put some pressure on Northern. They're just right on halfway, and they'll have head and ball at the scrum. And Patrick Hornsett, the little Frenchman who's finally got his chance after waiting several weeks, has brought Kevin Iro onto the ball. Iro stepping out, steps over, has lost the ball in the tackle, and so Leeds not able to take advantage of that. And Northern coming away now with Fairbanks. Of course, Northern smarting from the 2 defeats at Headingley, a big cup defeat and an even bigger league defeat. And Leeds absolutely ran them ragged, so they'll be looking to put things right this afternoon. Paul Dixon is the dummy runner. Trevor Clark takes the ball. Now the ball's moving out to the left with Derek Fox. David Heron switching the ball inside for the big man Paul Newlove. Northern will certainly use Newlove to power his way through the defence this afternoon. Fox now looks to put Dixon through the gap, but there's no gap there. Francis Cummins and Hornsett quickly in, and now Northern. Fox's kick on the last tackle. The wind taking that right over on the speedway track, and Alan Tate to go back many a mile there, almost to the terracing, to collect the ball. So at the moment then, nothing to show between these two sides. Northern have had most of the possession. They've made progress up to the Leeds 20 metres, and Jim Latham will drive out, and Latham's got the penalty there and for stealing the ball in the tackle. And that was pretty obvious that with the experience of Paul Dixon, who was the master at stealing the ball when it was legal, would try and pull the wool over the eyes of the youngster there, playing only his 2nd full game for Leeds. So Paul Cook fails to find touch, and so Leeds again making a pig's ear of that one. And this time it's Roger Simpson, the full-back, who's taking play right into the Leeds half of the field. So Leeds making errors there, and been given the opportunity to progress, but making errors, and they'll have to tighten up and put some sharpness into their play if they want to get any further. It's up to that 20-metre line now. The ball to the right with Roy Powell. Powell's striding out in the tackle, 10 metres from the Leeds line. And now the ball coming back across to the left, David Heron. The ball's gone behind Roger Simpson, but he spots the gap and tries to go through. Good tackling coming in there from Leeds, from Bassini Faimalo. Ball comes across there, and that's a try to Northern over in the corner, is it? In fact, it's been disallowed there. Knock on. And so the referee will give Leeds the ball on the 6th tackle, and Leeds will come away with Jim Fallon. And moving that ball now, Neil Harmon quickly in stride down the middle of the field, looking to push men off. That's better play from Leeds, making the distance. And again, Richie Ayres. A lovely ball out to Cummins. Cummins looks to step through out of the tackle. Can't do that. That's good defence from Carl Hall and Derek Fox. Fox doing the scrum half job there, sweeping across the field. Hanley slipped there in the Odson mud. And Leeds still just on halfway on tap with the ball. That's a good ball out to Paul Cook. And Paul Cook will do well to stay out of touch. He does that. We're up to the last tackle. Leeds get a sniff in the Bradford half of the field. Alan Tate's got the ball. Kicks for the corner. Kicks in fact straight at Neil Summers, who only arrived 20 minutes before the kick-off. Suspicion that he didn't perhaps put his clock forward 1 hour. However, he's in the starting lineup. And Roger Simpson now coming away, but only as far as Craig Innes. So Northern with Roy Powell now, middle of the field, up to halfway. Powell turning in the tackle, gets that ball away to Trevor Clark, despite the 3 men from Leeds being there. Fox again using this side with David Heron, finding Newlove. Newlove runs at Iro, and straight through Iro, and gets Gary Christie away to Iro. Recovers the situation, bringing Christie down. Now it's Newlove, it's Fox. Well, Powell drops the ball, took his eye off the ball, and Leeds gratefully have that in the arms of Jim Latham. Now Assini Faimalo, who's dropped back to the second row this afternoon. Ball again knocked out in the tackle, so Leeds losing possession, and Roger Simpson ploughing down the middle of the field. Well, a good tackle and Medley coming in there from Richie Ayres, and that needed to be a good tackle as well, because Medley was flying away there this time. Fox is working the Oracle, dropping David and off in the middle of the field. Nowhere to go for it, and Northern again will use that short side with Derek Fox. Fox running, twitches it back. And Leeds have conceded a penalty for offside. Colin Morris allowing the advantage. So Northern have the first penalty, and I'm sure that Derek Fox will use this opportunity to kick for goal. It's in a very kickable position. In fact, Northern tapping the ball, and Dixon trying to charge for the line, just inches short there. The ball moved across out with Dave Heron. Familiar step there as he tries to come, and Jim Latham wraps him up there with a crunching tackle. A knock on there, so that'll be a head and ball scrum to Leeds. And Northern had got a few opportunities to put pressure on the Leeds line. Leeds defence so far holding out. It's been a matter of Northern's bad play and Leeds' good luck at the moment. But on tap will feed the scrum, and we'll find Paul Cook. And if Cook gets in the clear, then there's certainly no one on the Northern side with the pace to catch him, as the Alliance side found out. 32 points in the Alliance side on Thursday evening against Bradford. Now he'd settle for just a few of those today, I think. Jim Latham. Using the short side, Assini Faimalo. Still going Faimalo. That's good defence though from Trevor Clark. Clamping man and ball there as Faimalo had made the half break. On tap again, finds Ayres. And Ayres is taking play 10 metres inside the northern half of the field. We're up to the last tackle. And a knock on, says the touch judge on the far side, as Richie Ayres got up to play the ball. So there'll be a scrum. And although that was on the 6th tackle, it's surprising there that the referees awarded the scrum and not the changeover. And Northern bring the ball out with David Heron, who runs at Craig Innes and Ellery Hanley. Nowhere to go for Heron at the moment. Christie, been in fine form recently, Gary Christie. That's a long ball out for Roy Powell, and Powell moves the ball out to Simpson, and Carl Hall stepped the Leeds cover there. Still going Carl Hall. Alan Tate needs to stand up and be counted. He does enough to bring Carl Hall half down before the cover comes across. And a good break there from the strong Kiwi. And Northern now moving the ball across. Dixon's tackled. Referees awarded I think the 6 tackle turnover, which is awarded a scrum for a forward pass. So again, nothing to show between these two sides in these early stages of the game. Colin Morris is not happy with the scrum, and a little bit of bother there in the scrum, a few heads bobbing out. Anyway, it's Horntat still waiting to feed the ball in the scrum. Does just that, out to Leeds, Jim Fallon then. Almost a half break there for Fallon. Just the feeling one of these days he will break completely through. Iro looping down on the outside. And getting a good ball away there as well. That's a penalty. And one hopes the tactics of the Northern players, which have been well publicised this week, are not going to spoil the game. There's been certain accusations flying around in the press that Northern were out to physically intimidate Leeds in this game. However, here comes Neil Harmon on the charge. And Dixon's in at the tackle again there with Roy Powell. And the referee says that's a knock-on, but there's too much of this, so there must be certain hands in there in the scrum. And Colin Morris, who hasn't spotted a decision and hasn't made a decision on his own so far this afternoon without looking at the touch judge. It's too much losing the ball in the tackle, so obviously something's going on. Roger Simpson looking to take on Francis Cummins and failing. Francis Cummins, good tackle there from the Leeds youngster, and Newell now a run at Iro, and again he's through Iro's tackle. And up to halfway. So Northern now looking to build within attack through their second row forward. Carl Fairbank, who's had a big spell out of the game this season with a detached retina. Fox again now, he's the playmaker. Aaron switching, stepping, trying to go himself. A good tackle coming in there from Richie Ayres. And again, using that forwards to blast forward, and that must be their last tackle now. It is indeed, and Northern are right just outside the Leeds 20 metres. And will move the ball across with Derek Fox. Fox puts the kick in, chases it himself there. Jim Fallon picks up for Leeds and manages to get away from his own line. That's good running from Jim Fallon, stepping, brought down in the middle of the field in front of his own post, 10 metres from his line. And Leeds will now bring this ball away through Jim Latham. Score still 0-0 here at Oddle Stadium. We've been playing 10 minutes. Neil Harmon, a good solid defence from Bradford there from Roy Powell, bringing Neil Harmon down. Richie Ayres. And that's back for Paul Cook. Paul Cook puts the kick in, and it's Hanley on the head. And Roger Simpson picks up. Takes Kevin Iro on the outside, slips, and so Northern pinned down here on their own 20 metres. Gary Christie runs across field, he's straightening up now. Kevin Iro again brings him down, so that's 2 tackles on the trot from the beast. One tackling there as well. And now it's Dixon's turn to run at Iro, and again mixed with the same result, brought down. So Iro 3 tackles on the trot there for the big man. And Paul Medley just takes the shoulder of Neil Harmon as he's rocked back. Fox now just on halfway, finds Fairbanks. And up to the last tackle, so we'll look for Fox, who's missed the ball at Acton half. We'll look to put the kick in. Drills that kick down the field. And that goes into touch. Just 10 metres from the Leeds line, so it'll be 10 metre scrum. It'll be Bradford Northern who will be defending, even though they're in the Leeds 25. Leeds 20 metres. One tap will work the feed of the scrum. And the little man puts the ball in, finds Jim Fallon. And again, Fallon comes in field looking to break cover. A high tackle there from Fairbanks. And the touch judge is on, right round the head there. And the referee, who seemed to watch that and then decided to do nothing about it, has got to take notice of the touch judge, which looks like Billy Blunden. It's going to be a penalty to Leeds. And this game certainly will need some strong refereeing, particularly if Leeds are to get anything like the noses in front. And Colin Morris brings play back to there, gives a penalty. Paul Cook marks the spot and will kick for touch. And this time he finds touch because the ball finishes up right in the crowd on the Popular side. The Leeds defending the ruling lane end at this first half. Playing towards the speedway end of the ground. Ontat now looks to drop off for Faimalo and does just that, and Faimalo trying to run out wide and can't escape the clutches of Roy Powell. Innes. Inside balls for Ayres, that was good play. Richie Ayres shouted for that ball and was given it immediately. Ontat misses outlay, then goes himself, dodges, weaves, finds Alan Tate. Tate's breaking through. And so Leeds 30 metres from the Bradford line with James Lowes at acting half, running strongly, going himself, trying to push men off. Well, there's got to be offside there. Bradford man knocked that ball and Leeds. In fact, it's a knock on. It looked almost as if it was offside. The head and ball to Leeds. The crowd go berserk in the main stand side there. But it certainly looked as though it was a Northern hand that knocked that ball down. So Ontat again will feed the scrum, and this is Leeds' best attacking chance for some time. In fact, of the whole game. And Ontat works the oracle. And would you believe Colin Morris has given a penalty for feeding at the scrum? Well, some of these referees are unbelievable. That's the first penalty I've seen for feeding the scrum this season, and we're into the end of March. However, Northern will take advantage of that and they'll run forward with John Hamer. Roy Powell twisting, turning in the tackle, looks to get the ball away. Ontat was at the right side of Roy Powell, then to intercept. And Northern bringing that ball with Fairbanks into the Leeds half of the field. And Fairbanks, that's great play from Fairbanks, out of the tackle there to the supporting Trevor Clark. And Leeds find themselves under pressure again, just outside their own 20 metres as Fox finds Dixon on that far side. And Dixon takes the quick tap and surely didn't release the ball there. And Leeds have been done again for offside. Well, this is ridiculous. And one would assume that Derek Fox will kick at goal this time. He certainly did not take the first kick, feeling more likely inclined to go for the try. Well, he's going to kick the goal now. So Fox has a chance then. It's 10 metres from the line. He's just brought it back a couple of metres, so it'll be about 12 metres when he kicks the ball. Kicking towards the Richard Dunn Sports end of the ground, the Ruler Lane end, in this ground which once held 102,000. Of course, the capacity much reduced now to something like 26,000 in these safety-conscious days. And here we go again now. Fox then lines a kick up. Well, he's hit the post. And Leeds have come away with the ball with a senior Faimalo, so led off there for Leeds for the 2 points. Fox not brought his kicking boots on. Jim Latham runs strongly forward. Harmon. Richie Ayres, short ball, that's a good ball for Ayres. That ball reefed out there by Fairbanks, and I'm some 40 metres away from the incident here, 50 metres, and it was obvious that that ball had been reefed out there by Carl Fairbanks. So Leeds will try with Paul Cook to kick for touch. It's a long way, is this? Cook finds touch this time, in fact a good touch as well. And Leeds of course playing with the wind behind their backs in this first half, so they'll be looking to try and get some points on the board before half time. Latham. Well, what's Colin Morris deciding to do about this now? He's pulled Jim Latham there, who's just had a fist in his face. He's pulled Ellery Hanley. And the penalty's gone against Leeds when they're in possession of the football, so a bit of a odd sort of a game we're witnessing here this afternoon. So that Jim Latham used his elbow in the tackle. And perhaps the referee was right, perhaps he did use the elbow in the tackle, but I'm sure it was after he'd had the fist and the elbow already given to him. Leeds tackle wide power just inside their own half of the field. And John Hayman now slips in the Hudson mud. 30 metres from the Leeds line as Northern look to increase the pressure with Derek Fox. That's a great ball there. Fair bounce takes Brown for Medley, and a great tackle from Alan Tate, bringing Medley down. But Northern have got a roll on here if they can move the ball quickly to the left. Newell stepping out of tackles there, and a good defence from Innes and Fallon. And now Northern switch play back to the open side. Derek Fox goes himself, twists, turns, trying to make progress towards that Leeds line. On the last tackle, Trevor Clark. The ball's out for Erin. Erin looping round Fairbanks. Northern winning the ball on the last tackle. Simpson's gone the wrong way. It might still come good for him. Can't get the ball away. That's good defence. And we're up to the last tackle. And Leeds will look with James Lawes to put the kick in. That's been kicked by a Northern player, so that should be... And Leeds have possession, I think, and 6 more tackles to the liners. Good play there from Ellie Hanley, made sure the loose ball was his. I don't think Ira was aware that that was the bin play on. In fact, the referee might have awarded that it hit the man and not that the man played the ball, but Leeds now with a chance to put some pressure on now with Richie Ayres. Great ball out for Alan Tate. That's got to be a head-high tackle. Well, that's the referee's let that one go again there. Tate not very impressed, I can tell you. Hanley within 10 metres now, Leeds of the line. James Lawes finds Ido. And Newell's knocked the ball forward, so that's going to be heading ball. The Leeds in line should let him Paul Newell run if I were you, Kevin Ido, because the referee's called play back. And Newell must think that people have been born yesterday. And Newell's hand came in and knocked the ball forward. And I can't see what they're doing in the carrying ons, but it was fairly obvious from where we were. However, Newell was just from 50 yards, 60, 70 yards for nothing. Caminados chased him. And Leeds will have head and ball at the scrum, so Northern rattled on their own line, enough to concede possession twice. And to be fair, if that pass had gone to hand, then it looked like a try time for Leeds. Still 0-0 in. We've been playing now, let's see the scoreboard from here. Been playing some probably 25, 23, 22 minutes of this game. And Leeds will look to use Patrick Horntat's speed to launch an attack. Craig Innes. Oh, that inside ball was lovely there for Alan Tate from Innes, just working the oracle. Lawes is in it, acting half, finds Horntat. Horntat short ball for Innes again. Innes close to the line. Steps out there. Cook, can he dance his way through? And would you believe that Colin Morris has now found a forward pass in that move? Well, so far this game's had everything, every conceivable type of refereeing decision in the first 25 minutes of this game. And where Morris conjured up that forward pass from, I'll never know. However, Northern get the ball out of the scrum, and it's Neil Summers running at Craig Innes. Hamer. That's Smedley, the size of Midland these days, making him look like Hamer, and the haircut of course as well. And now it's Roger Simpson in the line, looks to step back inside and go himself. To lay them in at the tackle. So, and again Northern pick up the penalty. So the penalty 6-4 to Northern, the scrum's 5-3 to Leeds, and Fox will use it to launch another word, trying to catch Leeds unaware, but only makes the 10 metres and uses up a tackle. Christie gets the ball off the floor. Referee says that's okay. Fairbanks, Clark again. It's the ball out, Northern losing ground, and Leeds really need to close Northern down now to make sure that that ground that was lost remains lost. They do just that, so Northern have gone back to further than before the penalty was taken. They've used 3 tackles up in the process. So Aaron again, like trying to cut through like in the days of yore, like he used to do when he was loose forward at Leeds. Coming back this side now, back to the open side here at Odsal with Derek Fox, with Gary Christie again, moving the ball out of the tackle. Fox running up to the line with the ball. Medley, Carl Hall, and Hall's brought down just inside the Leeds 20 metres. So Leeds defence under some pressure at the moment again, and this time Derek Fox looks to drop off there for Dixon. Dixon nowhere to go. Good defence from Leeds. Last tackle coming up. Which way will Northern switch it this? Using the short side. Fox finds Medley. The ball comes back there with Simpson. Simpson's lost the ball, and Hanley's got it there, and Leeds have possession. So good play from Melody Hanley. And Leeds, where they've been for quite a lot in this half, just around their own 20 metres, will try and drive the ball out there with the... James Laws making good progress on acting half there. And we're up to the last tackle. Leeds just inside the Bradford Northern half of the field, and they will kick with Craig Innes, who's put the bomb up, and it's blowing in the wind, and Simpson's underneath and takes it on the full. Runs at Jim Latham, and Craig Innes, who's chasing his own kick, brings him down. That's good defence from Leeds. Simpson though takes advantage of the fact that nobody's at dummy half and to run at Kevin Ira. Christie. And the ball out of the back door. That's good play again from Northern. Trevor Clark, as always, is in support of these situations, and Leeds having to bring him down now. So Northern have made good progress into the Leeds half of the field, and Paul Dixon is knocked down by Richie Ayres, spins out of the tackle, can't get the ball away. Heron again now, trying to cut through, finds Fairbanks, back to Powell. Powell just straightens play up, takes play down on the 20 metres, so Northern still 0-0, and Northern now will use Derek Fox on this short side as Fox cuts across the field. Puts the kick forward. Fallon has it for Leeds, and the chance for Northern is lost as Fallon comes away trying to clear his line. Decides to take the tackle with men in support. And a long ball out for Francis Cummins. Cummins looking his step, but again the Odsal field just proving that steps not very possible this afternoon. Jim Latham, straight up and down play. Jim Latham just driving that ball forward. Now on tap. The busy little Frenchman trying to dodge and duck his way under tackles. Finds Tate. Tate finally tackled, brought down twice there before he was tackled on Tate. Ellery Hanley now running at Derek Fox, trying to cut through Newell. Nowhere to go. That's good defence from Northern. Good running from Hanley. Tate will launch another road. That's a crossfield kick. Summers takes it. Paul Cook pushes him out towards the wing. But Summers can't get the ball inside, and almost dropped there by Carl Hall. Simpson. Good defence from Leeds. And Northern still on this 20 metres despite the fact that they've had 2 tackles, and Fairbanks will try and make further progress. Does just that. That's good running from Fairbanks. Up to halfway now, Northern. John Eamer, Northern with a rolling again. Northern switching play. Derek Fox, and Leeds so far have done a reasonable job in closing Derek Fox's options down. And this time Fairbanks will run. Nowhere to go, but up to the last tackle. 25 metres from the Leeds line. Fox now with the ball in his hands, looks for the run round there, and decides to go himself, puts Roy Powell for a huge gap. 6 tackle turnover, nowhere for Powell to go. Good defence from Leeds. And Innes now, just looking to clear his line with the ball. And James Laws waits acting half, finds on tap using the backs immediately, bringing Francis Cummins in for a run. Cummins cuts inside away from the touchline, but he's brought down. And Northern all offside. And so Leeds have a chance now to put some pressure on Northern. Play on the half hour, and we're still pointless. In fact, the only chance of anything was Derek Fox's kick, which hit the post. It came out into the welcoming arms of Assini Faimalo. So Leeds again run the ball with Neil Hammond. And Jim Latham just carries that on, and the whole atmosphere at the moment is like a Sunday afternoon stroll for both sides. No side really injected any real pace into the game. Craig Innes is tackled. James Lowes will find Iro, and Iro, one man who certainly could inject pace into the game. It's brought down 10 metres from the northern line, so Leeds in a good chance to put some pressure on Ayres, running hard and running straight. Can't get the ball away. Big defence from Northern up to the last tackle now. And Leeds using the short side with James Lowes. Kick up the slope, but it goes out on the full. And so Northern will have a tap on the 20 metres. Leeds will rush back to make sure that Northern can't take any advantage. Kyle Hall brought down by the combination of Horntat and James Lowes. And now it's Gary Christie's turn. Medley. Northern just up to halfway. 3 tackles gone in this set of 6 as Derek Fox injects himself into the game. Finds Fairbanks. Fairbanks for Newlove. Oh, great defence there from Fallon on Newlove. 1-2-1. Got Newlove down there. Dixon now. And again, Fallon's in quickly. Up to the last tackle. Northern just 10 metres inside the Leeds half of the field. Derek Fox has the ball in his hands. Shirley will kick. Kicks for the corner. Paul Cook picks up for Leeds. Backwards, and Alan Tate picks up. The crowd going absolutely berserk about that one. But Tate's running now and straightening up and coming down this stand side. Takes the tackle. Well, Leeds looking to move the ball back inside with Iro. On tap now. Dictating play. Marcus Vasilakopoulos is on, and the moment can't see who he's on for. Looks like it could be Richie Ayres. Now Richie Ayres is still on the field. Cook. Ice the bomb, chases it himself, Paul Cook there. Simpson spilled the ball, that's a knock on. So good kick and chase game from Paul Cook. That was excellent play from the Leeds youngster. This in fact is Jim Latham, who's been given a rest. So that will necessitate in Assini Faimalo going up to the front row. She's more suited to his sort of game at the moment. On tackling, using the short side, trying to go himself. Fox swings him round and swings him round again. Play 10 metres, 20 metres from that Leeds line. Vasilakopoulos runs hard, runs straight. Takes play back into the middle. Short ball for Neil Armour, close to the line, blasting his way forward. Held short there by Newlove. Leeds just a couple of metres short. Good pressure from Leeds. Faimalo running, going himself. Faimalo's under the post. Well, what a try for Leeds. Great play there, Faimalo. Did the dummy move around. And Leeds get the first blood of the afternoon with that try to Assini Faimalo. So Faimalo doesn't score many tries, and I know it's peeved him that his good friend and travelling companion George Mann seems to score the try every time he pulls a Leeds shirt. Lines a kick up, it's right in front of the post, 10 metres from the line. On the sand, Cookie's dance. It's successful, so Leeds have a 6-0 lead. I'm sure Leeds will want to just bring that ball back up and use the wind to kick downfield in this first half, what's left of it now. So just waiting for the game to be restarted by Northern. Derek Fox. It's a long spinning kick in. Horntat catches it on the full, that held up in the wind. And Horntat is able to get back over the 20 metres before the defence in the shape of the second row men Dixon and Fairbanks get there now. Jim Fallon. Looking to go down the middle of the field. Nowhere to go. Neil Harmon now's drive set up the position there, and Fallon injured in that skirmish. But Chiers takes the ball out of Ellery Hanley's hands, running their strong airs. That's taking play into the Bradford northern half of the field. Well, Leeds will use the open side again as they have a man short on the short side. Take kicks for the corners. And that ball beating everyone and running there with the wind. Jim Fallon still down injured, and Northern will have a tap now. Fallon gets to his feet. Looks okay, Roger Simpson. Gary Christie. Carl Hall, that's good play. Using Gary Christie again over there. Looks like he's over in the centre position on that side of the field now. Roy Powell trying to cut through. Just brushes off all touch threat. And Northern will use this side with Paul Dixon. He's looking for Newell all the time. Dixon slips the ball out of the back door. 6 more tackles, says the referee, but that looked like the ball played the man. The ball hit Neil Harmon on the hip. Hurling now. Northern are they stung into action by the fact that they've gone 6 points down as we approach half-time. Leeds would love to hold out while they break. Medley. Oh, a good tackle coming in on that far side from Francis Cummins. And Northern now with Derek Fox. That's good play from Northern. Dropping back inside for Trevor Clark. Just meanders from the Leeds line. We're up to the last tackle now. What will Fox do? Fox using the short side, puts the kick through. And that ball beats everyone who goes dead. Ellery Hanley chases it back towards the speedway track. And Leeds have survived a strong spell of pressure there from Northern. And we'll be happy just to tap this ball, use the tackles and use the wind. Referee stops the clock. And Lowes finds Fallon. And Jim Fallon was telling us the other day that he thought that he might be ready for another spell in the second row if Leeds injuries were such. And Harmon there took a big hit from the forearm of David Hidden. He's okay, gets to his feet. Fine Marlow. Leeds driving to make progress towards halfway. Dixon's acting at dummy half for Bradford. Innes stepping, trying to go himself. Northern's defence, that one lapse apart, has been good this afternoon at Chiers. Up to the last tackle now, Leeds in the Bradford, just outside the Bradford 20 metre, in the danger area as far as they're concerned. On track. Slide rule kicks come through there. Fox gets in on the second attempt. And now Northern will try and clear the lines with Roger Simpson. And Simpson just brushes off Neil Harmon, but not Craig Innes. Simpson difficult to tackle. Live body action. Oh, good tackle from Vasilakopoulos there, just bringing down Gary Christie as he looked to go inside. Trevor Clark will find Fox. Fairbank, who's looked the best of the Bradford forwards this afternoon. 3 tackles gone and Bradford up to halfway. Fox again injects Hurren into the game. Carl Hall. And that's been a figure of the Leeds defence, feature of the Leeds defence afternoon. They've kept Carl Hall wrapped up on that side. Great defence from Francis Cummins again, using that short side with Hall. And Northern keeping the ball alive. And some good defence again there from Vasilakopoulos up to the last tackle. Fox running the ball now on the last tackle. Bradford have got Christie, he's dropped the ball. Scrum will form. There's no advantage to Leeds. So Christie just took his eye off the ball and put it down there. And Leeds play the ball with the beast, Kevin Iro. Iro shrugs off Newell. Lowes finds Hanley. There's a gap for Ellery Hanley. Ellery Hanley ploughing down the middle of the field. Paul Dixon brings him down. And now Lowes going strongly. On tap was in support. Lowes couldn't get the ball away. Hanley. Innes. Inside balls for Cummins. Cummins can't get away from the first defence again. Leeds have stuck 4 tackles just inside the Bradford 20 metres. Richie Ayres will put the hammer down now. It's good strong defence from Ayres. Just a metre short there, Ayres, as he's tackled. Lows, Orntat puts a kick through. And it's just gone dead and beaten the little Frenchman there. So good enterprising play from Orntat. But nothing that he could do just to take the ball there. The goal there is not very big here at Hodsall. Good enterprising play there from the Frenchman, coming almost up to half-time now. And now it's Paul Medley. And Bradford are up into the Leeds half of the field. Fairbanks, some big hit in there from Leeds. That's good. Fox has knocked on, but it doesn't matter because it's half-time. Leeds then have a 6-0 lead, courtesy of that 32nd minute try to Orsini Faimalo. Paul Cook converted. Bradford just the one chance when did it. Fox's penalty at the post. And apart from that, it's stalemate. So Leeds 6, Bradford Northern 0. So Northern trailing 6-0, about to get the second half restarted. With Derek Fox. And it's a big kick in the outer wind. Ellery Hanley it is who takes it over his own line. I'm sure that even allowing for the difficulty of the kicks, that Leeds will be hoping that Bradford have to kick off another 2 or 3 times at least in this second half. Jim Fallon then puts his head back and goes, takes play over the 20 metres. Richie Ayres running from deep. Nice, can't get the ball away to Cummins. So Orntat now will look to bring Faimalo on. Good defence from Northern, kept Leeds to within 20 metres of their own line. And Neil Harmon, time for some straight running. That's good running from Harmon up to the last tackle, so somebody's kick will have to go back here. That will be Paul Cook's. Orntat, that's good play from Leeds. So Leeds looking to open out play with Orntat. Lovely ball for Ayres. Ayres is striding out, and that's going to be a try. So Leeds opening the second half in some fine style there, within 7 or 8 tackles of the kick-off. And Leeds go further ahead with that try there to Richie Ayres. And Richie Ayres able to go over, unopposed virtually. Just ran through the largest of gaps. And Leeds now hoping to turn this 10-point advantage into 12 with Paul Cook. And that's triumph for Leeds, just to take your time and don't wait until and wait and bide your time until the right opportunities comes. No forcing of passes. Cook converts, and it's 12 points to 0. So Cook 2 from 2 then. So Robbie Paul coming on, and he'll be looking to inject something. He looks a carbon copy of his brother. Fox again kicks deep, this time straight for Orntat. Orntat finds Ellery Hanley. And Northern have brought Eugene Bourneville on. Jim Fallon. And again Leeds using this short side. Neil Harmon, that's a good ball for Ilo. Ilo using his strength there to try and take Carl on. Faimalo now up the middle of the field, runs in the right, Powell bumps him off, and Powell injured in the tackle, taking his time to get to his feet. So Vasilakopoulos now stepping, look twisting, trying to come back inside, up to the last tackle. Well, Leeds, Chimilos. Ayres, it looks like Ayres is going to be clamped man and ball there on the last tackle. So that'll be the 6th tackle turnover. And Robbie Paul who spins in and out of the tackle, just like his brother. He's an exact replica of the brother, of course, who's at Wigan. Peter Fox, is he not in the same class? And Christie gets the ball away to Powell, who just puts his knee in at the time again. Iro's chasing Simpson, and Leeds finally make the tackle on halfway. Medley. It's Carlo through a gap. Good defence from Neil Harmon. And Northern move the ball back centre-field now. Robbie Paul again. It's a lovely ball for Dixon, and Dixon gets the tackle, but Christie's there to back up and support. That's good play from Northern. 30 metres from the line, 4 tackles gone. Francis Cummins just shouts people across. Eugene Bourneville. Down again, 20 minutes from the line. 20 metres from the line. And then Dixon's out wide. Can't get the ball away. Throws that ball forward, Dixon. And Alan Tate has it for Leeds. On tap in front of his own post, running across, looks to try and bring men onto the ball, but some Leeds supporters asked the question what a half-back's doing running the ball out from their own line. And now it's Francis Cummins' turn. And that's good defence breaking from Francis Cummins. Again, losing his boot in the mud. Vasilakopoulos. And looks a suspiciously high tackle there. Richie Hayes now, the try scorer. Into Powell and Medley and Bourneville. And Tate just directing operation, sends Ellery Hanley on the gallop. On tap, backing up as ever. Good play, oh great play there. Oh, Nido's put the ball down inside as Innes moved the ball away there. Great play from Leeds. Tate involved, Hanley involved, Innes involved, and Nido just put the ball down. Powell. All offside, Leeds. So Northern get the penalty. The first half penalty is tied at 6-all. The scrum's 5-3 to the Liners. Fox's kick finds touch. 30 metres from the Leeds line. And Leeds a strong spell of defensive pressure required from them. By Powell. Charges towards the 20 metres. 8 minutes gone of this second half as Eugene Bourneville drives forward now, 10 metres from the Leeds line. Leeds defence, which is held firm. Fairbanks looking to go himself. Gets the ball away to Simpson. Simpson straining up, can't get the ball away in the tackle. Just a couple of metres short now than Dixon. Trevor Clark, great defence from Leeds. Fox, little tries to go himself. And this time Colin Morris is given the penalty. Held up on his back. Big defence from Leeds. Great defence from Leeds there. Northern took advantage of the quick tap. They'll have heading ball at the scrum, so they should be able to put some pressure in on the Leeds line now. And this time Fox looks to be Robbie Paul. Around the outside, Paul's drop-offs for Christie. And again, that's a good spell. The defence from Leeds. Eugene Bourneville drives forward. Played in that 60 points to 60 feet by the Leeds Alliance on Friday evening. Clark, Fox again now. Jinking, weaving, drops off for Roy Powell. Lost the ball, picked up by Leeds, by James Lowes. And moving the ball to Orsini Finalo. Oh, and Ontat's put the ball down. Leeds guilty of forcing the pass there. Leeds would have been happier taking Sedley. And again have put themselves under pressure. Northern now with a chance to increase the pressure on the Leeds line. Fox then brings the ball out again, finds Robbie Paul. Robbie Paul running into Leeds defence. Looks to go himself. Fox again, moving that ball out. This time it's for Clark. Clark's wrapped up there, is he? In fact, he isn't. Still going, Clark. Bourneville. Probably a knock on there in that. Referee sees it went backwards. Roger Simpson gets the ball away to Fox, and Northern keeping this ball alive. That's good play. Good tackle on Roy Powell. Clark. Drop-off for Newell, so strong near the line. But this time he's brought down by a good combination of defence from Hanley and Vasilakopoulos. That's offside. Ball coming off Patrick Contact, Richie Hayes collects. And Northern again will have the penalty, so interesting to see what Northern decide to do this time. And this time I think the referee stopped the clock. And Northern will take the tap, and Eugene Bournemouth will drive forward. Fox again. Still managing to get to his feet there, despite the fact that he slipped with Leeds coming out. Roger Simpson using that ball with Simpson again. And good defence from Leeds, close to the line. That's big defence from Leeds. Rule of Dixon, that looked forward. And Dixon's held up right on the Leeds line. Christie. Up to the last tackle now, so that's good defence from Leeds, and a strong spell required here because Fox is going to move with this ball. Moves it out to Robbie Paul. Paul's ball is for Kyle Hall. And Cook kicks it dead. Good defence from Leeds near the line, good scramble defence. Under pressure there, Paul Cook did the right thing and just hacked it dead. Leeds will drop out under the teeth of this wind, which is fairly strong this afternoon. And it's going to be Paul Cook then, who's been charged with clearing Leeds lines with a drop kick. And that's a good drop kick because that sends Roger Simpson skidding back, and he's into his own half of the field, so in the circumstances that was an excellent drop kick. Carl Hall, in fact it's Summers who runs in field. Midley. Some barges towards Hanley, and Hanley brings him down. Great tackle there from Elaine Hanley. Fox again, Robbie Paul. Drop-offs for Dixon. Still going Paul Dixon. And finally brought down by Vasilakopoulos. Paul again, switching play for Eugene Bournemouth. And again the penalties coming thick and fast for Northern as Colin Morris again catching Leeds offside. Newell puts his foot to the floor there. Summers takes the ball on the bounce, runs at Paul Cook and Francis Cummins, and they do a really good job in bringing him down just 10 metres from that Leeds line. Simpson, drop-offs for Powell. Powell's brought down there by Paul Cook. Good tackle from the youngster. Quickly to his feet, the ball moving out to the left with Fox with Paul. Short ball there is for Bourneville. Can't get the ball away in the tackle. Again, good defence from Leeds. And again, that's big defence from Leeds as Newell tries to force his way over from that tin half. Picked up by Richie Hayes. And Robbie Paul who brings him down on the 20 metres and does a good job of holding him down while the defence comes back. Iro. We've not seen much of Kevin Iro this afternoon. Holding off Iro. That's for Cook, who had to stretch for that one. Couldn't take the pass quickly, so the chance was lost. And it's Leeds coming back now. Drop-off balls for the senior Faimalo. Faimalo charging up the short side. Good driving from Leeds. Good turning defence into attack. Hanley now steps back into the middle of the field. Going himself, Hanley. And Hanley there. Cop to real smacker from Fairbanks, and if you were going to put your name on one player who was likely to do something like that, you would have to say it would be Carl Fairbanks. And we've seen that before in Leeds Bradford matches. Derek Fox has been called out, but Ellery Hanley Leeds, and we're desperately hoping he's okay for the semi-final. Still down on the field, still groggy Hanley. And a red card there for Fairbanks, and about time too, one might say. And that's good refereeing from Colin Morris. We might have criticised him a bit for some of his decisions this afternoon, but you can't criticise him for that. That was a disgraceful tackle there. Fairbanks leaves the field. Hanley still groggy in the middle of the field. And Fairbanks so Leeds will have a penalty right in front of the post. Ellery Hanley's groggy to say the least. As Ellery went for the gap there, a mighty blow was swung by Carl Fairbanks. And Hanley gets to his feet eventually. The Bradford crowd incensed, and that won't stop Paul Cook from attempting to put Leeds 14 points to the good. So Cook right in front of the post at the Rural Lane end. This then to make it 14 points to 0 in Leeds' favour. Successfully converts. So Paul Cook, 100% success for him this afternoon, 3 from 3. We've been playing about 18 minutes of this second half, so that could be an important kick as far as Leeds are concerned. So it means that Northern will now have to score 3 times, and so far the Leeds defence has managed to keep them out. Marcus Vass has to stop the ball with his feet. He's over his own line and will do well to get out there. Marcus Vasilakopoulos runs across the face of the post, straightens up now. Bumps off Carl Hall, who gets him at the second attempt. Iro. Lows, that's good support play from Leeds. A 12-man Northern, how will they react to the suspending off of Carl Fairbanks? Fallon tramples straight over Robbie Paul. The Bradford cover get him at the second attempt. Really tenaciously strong is Jim Fallon, which he takes play up to halfway line, so Leeds will look to put the kick in, I think, with Alan Tate. Tate just drums that ball forward. That's good line kicking from Alan Tate. There'll be a scramble form with heading ball to Northern. So Northern just Leeds waiting for Fox to feed the scrum. And the Leeds supporters really getting mad, and Dougie Lawton must be absolutely delighted this afternoon. Carl Hall. And again, big defence from Leeds from Marcus Vasilakopoulos and James Lowes. Robbie Paul looks to go himself there. No way through. Nice work from Horntat. Northern using the short side. But I think Gary Christie looks very similar to Paul Newlove when they're both over on that far side. Fox drubs the ball forward. Fallon lets it go in a touch. And Leeds should have heading ball at the scrum. And Leeds, of course, will take their time coming back with this ball there in no rush to get proceedings restarted. Horntat finds Fallon. And Fallon's dragged down in the middle of the field. Innes now quickly finding that ball out to Iro. Iro steps Robbie Paul. And finds Alan Tate. So Tate now with pace. Steps on the outside. Still going round the outside, Alan Tate. Cuts in field. That's a great run from Tate. still gets up and goes himself. And the Leeds back screaming for the ball. Cook, Vasilakopoulos, Cummins all over on this side here. As Orntak now with the ball, takes men on, goes himself. And the referee suddenly conjured up a knock on from somewhere. He must have the eyes in the back of his head because he wasn't looking that way at all. But he's given Eden ball, and that really, Alan Tate's run from defence deserved much better finish than for Leeds to be adjudged to have knocked on whether they did or they didn't. However, it's Northern now. Fox coming round the blind side of the scrum. Hyro lines up in the correct defensive position. As Carl Hall attempts to burst through there, but there's no way through. That was good defence from Craig Innes and Francis Cummins. Medley, former Leeds favourite of course, now at Bradford, third club for Medley. Played a short spell at Halifax where he was swapped for Paul Dixon, who's also in the second row with him, or in the back three should I say, with him this afternoon. Clark finds Fox, and suddenly Bradford looking short of runners. Robbie Paul chips over. Hyro picks up the lead, shakes off the attack. The tackle of Newell. And Faimalo runs from deep onto the ball. Straight through from feeble tackles, and Faimalo's away. Well, Faimalo's got the legs. Carl Hall brings him down. Leeds had nobody that could get there near Faimalo. In support, Carl Hall just delays things again while the Bradford defence gets back. Orntak with the ball in his hands now. And Cummins is in for the try, over in the corner. And I think that's going to win the game for Leeds this afternoon. And to be fair, they've been head and shoulders above a very average Bradford Northern side. The Bradford time for the committee meeting behind the post. But Francis Cummins there, that ball moved out quickly by Orntak. And Cummins goes over. 15-16 time of the season, not quite sure at the moment. So Fox then will look to kick long and deep again. The referee stops the clock, and I'm sure Leeds are not particularly bothered if it takes Derek Foxwell 20-5 to kick the ball off. The kick goes down, and Leeds allowing that to go dead. So good kick from Derek Fox. Leeds will drop out. Paul Cook will be the one to do it. Colin Morris quickly fetches the ball, gives it to Paul Cook, who will be again dropping out. Ball just holds up in the wind for Neil Summers. Summers takes the ball down that far side to within 20 metres of the Leeds line. So good driving there from Neil Summers, and good defence from Leeds, keeping him down. Eugene Bourneville. Rock back, three Leeds men in at the tackle. Bourneville again, this time Fox will come on the short run and using shot. Medley. 5 metres from the Leeds line now with Trevor Clark. Fox now using his backs, using Robbie Paul. Using Carl Hall. Carl Hall like a wild boar, Carl Hall, but driven back by Leeds. Again, good defence from Leeds. Close to the line. Carl Hall gets to his feet. Robbie Paul's in acting half. Fox almost dropping the ball there. Up to get the ball away, up to the last tackle. Leeds have done well so far. And Fox again, this time the ball will go to Summers in the standoff role. Robbie Paul has to go himself. And that was a great play there from Paul Newell. That's put Gary Christie over for the try in the corner. Flipped out of the back of the hand by Paul Newell. Used his strength there. Leeds didn't cover all the options. But been good defence, Bradford Northern running the ball on the pitch. Was charged with trying to put Northern up to the 6 points. He's got the wind behind him, but it's a difficult swirling wind this afternoon, and it's right out on the touchline side. Oh, what a kick from Fox. Superb kick from Derek Fox. So 18 points to 6 then. And surely Leeds won't let this advantage slip now. They need to tackle well. They need to make sure that Northern don't get down in this 20-metre area and put pressure on as they did at that time. Tate just teeing the ball up on the sand. The referee again stops the clock. So about 15 minutes left for play. Plenty of time for either side to win this game. Tate's kick-off. Bounced awkwardly there for Eugene Barnville, but Eugene Barnville brings it back and leads her up quickly. Good defence from the Liners. Bringing good defence from Leeds, keeping Northern in and around that 20-metre mark. And this time it's John Amer who's back on the field. And I think for Paul Dixon, Robbie Paul steps, finds Fox. Nowhere for Derek Fox to go. Tricky customer, Robbie Paul, with the ball in his hands. And himself knocked down, spitting image of his brother Henry at Wigan. Just runs the same, looks the same. Fox's kick is found by Fallon. Fallon who drops the ball, that's a knock on. No pressure whatsoever, Jim Fallon, so Leeds again make the mistake, which has let Bradford in with 6 more tackles on the Leeds line. Jim Fallon had done the hard work, he'd waited for the ball to bounce, he'd taken the ball and he just threw it away as he ran. Ball slipping from his grasp, so Leeds again now. We'll have to look to their forwards to do a spell of defence. And a kick there, Northern wasting that opportunity. Alan Tate just watched that go dead all the way, so Jim Fallon can breathe a sigh of relief. Tate fields the ball. And Leeds will look to Jim Fallon to make amends this time with a strong run out from defence. Fallon does just that. And gets the ball out of the tackle for Lowe, so that's great driving from Leeds now. That's taking Leeds 20 metres from the 20-metre line, so 40 metres from their own line, and Matt Schultz is into the Bradford half of the field. Schultz is away now, he's going in for the corner. Matt Schultz, he's got Robbie Paul to beat. Has he got the legs, Matt Schultz? Tackle there, right out on the touchline side, but Leeds in a good strong attacking position now with Ontak, moving the ball across. This time it's Innis. Innis' long balls for Ayres. Ayres finds Ido. Ido steps, that's a good ball to Vasilakopoulos. The ball coming across his side now. Takes him for the try, that's the right reply for Leeds. Alan Tate throws his arms up at the Leeds contingent behind the post. Bradford now well and truly buried. Great play from Leeds. Could Bradford come back? They couldn't. Tate. Good play, great break from Matt Schultz. Up the outside, Leeds moving the ball across. And Leeds, their 4th try of the afternoon, is going to seal victory here. Been playing on the 30-minute mark now, so 70 minutes gone. $70 minutes gone and Leeds well and truly home and dry. So it's going to be a league double for Leeds over Northern this season, and of course the big cup defeat. And really depleted Leeds side have come here, and if they'd have played half as well as this at Sheffield Eagles last week, they'd have probably won by 20 clear points. Great try from Tate on 70 minutes. It's Leeds 22 points to 6 to the good. And just the fillip and the lift that they will need for next week's semi-final. Cook's kick comes flying over, straight through the middle. What a great kick that is from the touchline side. 24 points to 6. Four tries and 4 goals. 24 points to 6. And Cook just at 1 miss this afternoon. Well, 4 from 5 for Paul Cook. He'll be happy with that. Leeds will be absolutely delighted. It's big, taking a big amount of effort and courage to come here this week. And again, Northern taking advantage of the big strong wind, and Ontak drops the ball from the kick-off. So Leeds again will be under pressure on their own line. Newlove stepping, trying to go himself, spinning, twisting, trying to step out of tackles. Kevin Erdo comes up and wraps him up. And Leeds bring him down. That's good defence from Loiners. Eugene Bourneville driving strongly for the post, just under the post, 10 metres out. Trevor Clark now finds Fox. Robbie Paul. Carl Hall. And again, good defence from Leeds. Great defence from the little man on track there. And from Francis Cummins. Fox again looks for the run around with Roger Simpson. But Simpson, although he's a tricky customer, really should have moved that ball along the line. Northern with a lot of width now, and Roy Powell just charges for Ellery Hanley. And again, Colin Morris has conjured up another penalty, would you believe? 10-5 the penalties. Northern not been offside at all in this second half, would you believe? And Leeds have managed to do it 5 times. Eugene Bourneville, suppose it just makes victory more sweet if you can do it. That's a poor pass. That's got to be a knock on. Leeds have it. Absolutely poor play there from Bradford on the second tackle. Just took their eye off the ball. Newlove. And Leeds coming away with Jim Fallon up to the 20 metres. Fallon quickly to his feet. Schultz will run all day. And smack into Carl Hall there. You could hear the smack from where I'm stood. Richie Ayres, he's had a big game this afternoon. Lowe's finds Innes and Leeds using that ball now. Fallon has to take Newlove's tackle. Nowhere else to go there, Jim Fallon. Was looking for Alan Tate to loop round him. Tate getting Ayres on the burst again. As Leeds look to open out play now. 4 tackles gone. Leeds have come up to halfway line. Neil Harmon now. And on tack's going to... In fact, Leeds have gone the other way with Alan Tate. Fallon's got room on the outside, puts the kick in Fallon. Picked up by Christie, and Christie's charging now. Charged Fallon's kick down. Still going, Gary Christie, not made a yard actually in distance. In fact, he's lost some ground now as Leeds make the tackle. Robbie Paul then. Summers finds Carl Hall and hauls away now. So he's got Alan Tate. Is he going to cut inside Alan Tate? He is indeed. And he's going to get for the line and going to score a try. The Leeds defence caught napping there. And Carl Hall goes over. So now they'll have the second try on 74 minutes. The ball blows over. Now the referee stops the clock. And the windy conditions have not spoilt this game at all. It's been a good end-to-end stuff. Leeds' defence has been superb near the line. Only breached there once by Christie after great work from Paul Newlove. And then just again, Carl Hall ran from halfway. And was almost caught by Neil Harmon. And that's gone wide, so no conversion from Derek Fox. 2 tries and 1 goal. Leeds 4 tries and 4 goals. And Colin Morris fetches the ball because Bradford ball boy's not quite as keen as on some grounds. There's usually a ball on the halfway line. Neil Harmon will come off and Jim Latham comes back on. Derek Fox has got the man of the match award, which is much to the mirth of the Leeds people in the crowd. So, Fox not been at his best this afternoon. Medley then picks the ball up, crashes down the middle of the field. Leeds are up quickly there with Hanley and Lowe's. Eugene Bourneville. Medley again. And now it's Roy Powell. And Powell wraps up there, and that's been good defence from Leeds. Northern have made ground, but they've stopped passing out of the tackle. Leeds have clamped man and ball every time there. That's out to Neil Summers. Summers brings Newell charging forward, just up to halfway. We're up to the last tackle now, so Tate can expect the bomb, I think, from Fox. Fox instead kicks for the corner. And Paul Cook can let that ball safely roll out dead. He does indeed, so Fox not judging the wind. Kick for the corner, the ball takes a wicked bounce as far as he was concerned. And Cook brings the ball back. And Laws will wait till Leeds are back on side to tap the ball. And Jim Latham will run straight at Trevor Clark. And Hamer. And that's good defence from Bradford, but Leeds doing the right tactics now. Just take the ball in there. Jim Fallon, another one who's just taking the ball forward. Hell, shouts Colin Morris. Schultz. Iro now stepping, pushing out the men there. Owen is taking the ball over his shoulder. And they'll come. So Iro and Innes getting in the mix up there as the big man went through. Kevin Iro knows the game over now. Robbie Paul. Tries to slip out of Iro's tackle. Hanley concedes a penalty. Robbie Paul drops the ball. And Northern get their 11th penalty of the game. So Leeds Northern pressing strongly now with John Hamer. And another penalty, so you might as well make it a round dozen, Colin Morris. Medley. And the amount of penalties that Bradford have had this half, similarly they haven't had plenty of points on the board. Tribute to the Leeds defence. Roy Powell's just held a metre short. And Northern will look now to use the bulk of Paul Newell, who puts the kick in. Alan Tate safely collects the ball. And the referee says it Tate's knocked on there on the line. So we can have another scrum and get more possession as far as Northern are concerned. But I think they could have had twice as much possession this afternoon, and Leeds' defence would still have held good. And great defence from Leeds close to the line. And another penalty, would you believe, to Northern. Out to Neil Summers. Robbie Paul. Inside balls for Carl Hall. Good defence from Kevin Iro. Eugene Bourneville. Eugene Bourneville and Jim Latham just got into something. The ball had been slipped out there of the tackle after the referee had called held. And ball of Leeds at the scrum. And Leeds can now just weather the storm. Be interesting to see, as Northern are all offside at the scrum. What Cook dancing, tries to get out of Robbie Paul's tackle. 8 scrums in the scrums, 9-8, 12-5 massively the penalties. Craig Innes is knocked back there by Paul Medley. Hanley, good ball for Iro. Iro's away, gets the ball inside to Hanley. And Hanley takes the tackle, so the 3 or 4 tries at Ellery Hanley needs to break Bob Higgs' record of taking some Cummins. Another match in which he hasn't scored anything. The ball, lovely ball out there for Tate. Cummins steps back inside. Straightens up now, fancies Cummins. Heading for that line, inside ball lines for Hanley. That's going to be one of the tries, is it? It is indeed. So Hanley over for the try. His 39th of the season. Lovely play there from Francis Cummins, who straightened things up. Just saying that Ellery Hanley had had much chance. The Northern fans in the main stand booing at Ellery Hanley. How they wish. And when he left Wigan, he'd come back here, I can imagine. Cook, just a little dance. Safely through the middle. 30 points to 10. And there goes the Hooner, so a great victory here for Leeds this afternoon. 30 points to 10. Northern comprehensively, totally outplayed by a better side. 6 points to 0. Leeds led at half-time with Fine Marlowe's try. And as early as the 42nd minute, Ayres was going over to really seal the game for Leeds. 12-0 it was then. A Cook penalty when Fairbanks was sent off for a high tackle and only made it 14 points to 0. And then Vasilakopoulos' try on 63 minutes. Too far out for Cook's conversion, it was 18-0. Bradford hit back then with a try to Christie, which Fox superbly converted from the touchline, it was 18-6. But Taylor had a try, and Cook converted again after a good run from Matt Schultz. 24-6 game, over as a contest. Try Hall on 74 minutes run from the halfway line. 24 points to 10. Then right on the stroke of time there, Alan Hanley's try made it 30 points to 10 with Paul Cook's conversion. So great work here from Leeds this afternoon. They've certainly well and truly laid the Odsal bogey and put themselves in good heart for next week's Silk Cut Challenge Cup semi-final. Final scoreline from Odsal: Leeds 30, Bradford Northern 10.